Things have been going pretty decently here at Exeter. Not spectacular, but we are motoring on very well indeed. We play predicted first Salford today, so that might be about to change. The good news is we do go into this game with a 3-1 victory in our previous match, so morale should be okay. However, since we last met, Scunthorpe 0-0 away from home, we drew with Sutton at home and drew with Walsall at home. An away win at Hartlepool, though, in between those, in which we scored in the 88th, 94th and 95th minute. We were very much on course to lose that. 4-1 against Stevenage, Newport 1-0 at home, got our revenge from them knocking us out of the Carabao Cup on penalties. We also lost on penalties to Chelsea's under-23s. We may have bottled a 3-0 lead in that. But that's the Father Jonathan's trophy, and nobody really cares. We did also draw fellow League 2 competitors Colchester. In fact, we play them not too far away in the league as well, in the FA Cup first round. But it's Salford today, whose prediction of first in the season preview is looking a little bit of an overestimate. They currently sit in 12th, 12 points behind ourselves at the very top of the table. We are joined with Harrogate and Crawley, a team that you just saw we also lost to recently. We've also drawn with Sutton in recent games. So that three behind us, we've had issues with those three teams. Those results not looking quite so bad when you factor that in. The 3-1 win against Mansfield, though, they're in 8th. That's a pretty decent one. The fact that we nearly lost to Hartlepool, who are bottom, less so. However, the best news of all is our now dedicated first 11 are all available for what feels like the first time the entire season. They're all on heavy match loads, for obvious reasons, but we've had to sort of mix and match a bit as defenders mostly just take a knock here and there or pick up a yellow card warning, which I don't think has necessarily happened yet. Sweeney on the bench is the only one in danger. But this is an important league fixture, so we do need to be as full first strength as we possibly can, which means Dawson is in goal. Fleming is at left back, Hartridge, Stubbs, McLaughlin at right back, Morton, Soule in the volantes, Collins in front of them. Lovely little triangle of green there as well. You can't really see it too well behind Collins, but lovely triangle of green, along with links on the left and right to Jay and Giovanni Brown, who, despite my initial thought that he would be the very good backup in that role, has turned out to be the first choice, with Beerith up front, who is on 4 goals. Giovanni Brown is the standout on 7. I'd like more goals from Beerith. Kieran Phillips has the same number of goals in half the starts. But we go unchanged from the Mansfield match. But it's the same 11 that I put out against Mansfield, and they won 3-1 there. Recognise the name David Wheater in their defence, even if I'm not fully certain why. Along with Josh Morris on their bench, although that might just be a different Morris. Matt Smith on their bench, definitely recognise that name, and not just because he's Doctor Who. I'm well aware there is another footballer called Matt Smith in the systems. Well, of course, he himself was a footballer once upon a time. Funny how things work out. Now then, get myself on the correct side as Hartridge gets this ball from a set piece. Morton, from distance, wasn't far off. But Salford in the red kits, mimicking their Manchester United neighbours and owners. We are in black with pink socks, which is a bold choice, but it works. It works for the club, quite frankly. Kelly to Watson, Bolton. A little bit awkward having a player called Bolton when you play for Salford, but never mind. Hartridge tries to find Beerith, but doesn't get him. That is an audacious attempt. It's hit the bar. I just watched in silence because I wasn't fully certain what was happening. I thought there might be 1 or 2 more passes, but no. He went for it, and then I was just in awe. Beerith, though, 2 very good blocks there, leading to a corner which probably won't lead to anything, as Crawley seems to be 1-0 down to Port Vale. No, corner indeed, going nowhere. Not the most thrilling of games. 20 minutes gone. Then again, 20 minutes gone, the XG is not horrible for that period of time. Both of us on about 0.2. Fleming, out to Jay. Would like to see a little bit more, though, still. Collins has Fleming to look for. Collins again, though. Beerith, forced back to Morton. Out to Jay. Back to Morton. One of the good things about this formation is that it does tend to always allow an option to pass to. It's very easy to avoid a press for some reason with this formation. It's one of its strengths. Brown there into Beerith, and that's worked wonderfully into the feet of Beerith, and he has got his 5th goal finally. I feel like it's been a little bit of a while. Not drastically, we're still in the early stages of this season as Louis Barry's on loan at Swindon. I presume he's on loan anyway. What a fall that is. Wasn't he the guy that was at Barcelona? And I think someone like Aston Villa acquired him fairly recently, and now he's clearly on loan at Swindon. Stubbs, you could say probably much similar to, although less drastically, about Matty Longstaff, who is on loan at Mansfield. Definitely played in Premier League games in the last couple of years, and now he's at Mansfield. Archie Collins has done wonderfully there to make this 2. I mean, that's a wonderful ball. It's completely destroyed the defence. It's gone straight through them. And they have they have an enormous man there. What is his name? That's Wheater. I'm going to have to look at him afterwards because he is ginormous compared to everyone else. Like, Beereth is there, and he's bigger than him. And I'm pretty certain Beereth is 6'4". Okay, 6'5". I wouldn't necessarily that's a massive weight for a 6'5". I don't know whether that factors into the size of people in the game engine. Beereth not 6'4". Oh, 6'2". Okay, that explains the difference. Collins. But he just seems to stand out, that Wheater, on the pitch. Oh my god, Tyler Morton, what have you done there? As I'm just waxing lyrical about the heights and sizes of the people, Tyler Morton with an absolute peach of a goal here. Fleming just lays it off to Morton, no press whatsoever, has the time to. You can tell he's from the Liverpool setup with a finish like that. Jay nearly gets a fantastic free kick goal to boot. I said I'd like to see a little bit more. We're seeing a little bit more. Not quite at half time yet. Just on the fringes. Giovanni Brown finds McLaughlin, who puts it into Collins, who may or may not be offside. We'll check the arm situation as he runs away. They stayed down. It's not going to count. We don't even get a VAR response. I don't think there even possibly is VAR here, but arm stay down, not a goal. It's the thing. Matt Jay with another free kick. He nearly scored one a few moments ago, and he does score this one. And it's 4-0 at half time. I'm so glad that you turn up for the 4-0s. If this is anyway a repeat of the Forest Green situation, then we're probably not going to see anything in the second half. Send them back out there. So we can't beat actual league title contenders Harrogate or Crawley, but we can beat predicted first Salford. But at 4-0, we do have an opportunity to just rest some of the more tired players in our current 11. Beereth most of all, actually. I think Beereth does lack a little bit in the stamina sectors of his physicals, which is why he seems to actually get tired a lot more than I'm used to in a striker. Goalkeepers and strikers seem to generally be the most immune to repeatedly being played, but Beereth not so much, as he gets this ball, Collins, and thankfully he's only on 1 goal so far, although if he gets a second here, that makes my decision awkward. And he's gone a bit wide. If he's going to get anything, it's going to be an assist, and it is indeed an assist for Matt Jay, who makes it 5. We're actually seeing something in the second half. We didn't just say 4-0, that'll do, like we did against Forest Green. We've decided to keep going, but Beereth will come off now, as that is 5, and there's no need for him to still be on this pitch. Actually, possibly McLaughlin, who I just noticed has got down a level in his fitnesses. Or in Collins. Collins just dipped down as 2, so we will make these replacements. Dieng is probably the best replacement there. So we've made 3 substitutions by basically with half an hour to go, but we can afford to rest 3 fairly key players. As that's a really good goal from them. It's big man Wheater who's done the assist according to the text. From defence, he's just lumped it over, and Sam Stubbs and Hartridge have just gone, do you want to have a go? Do you want to have a go, Ian? Yeah, all right then, have a go. Oh, he's scored. Yeah, might as well continue with the changes. There's no reason not to. Still 5-1. Give Key some game time. Give Dieng some game time most of all as well. Just because, yeah, he's still upset at the arrival at Tyler Morton, which in the end ironically ended up not to be the person who replaced him. Morton, Sule, the one who did replace him, Stubbs, back to Dawson, launched up the pitch to no one in particular. Shepherd shepherds that. Raksaki to Wheater, Lund, Salford playing it around. Wheater's already lumped 1 through our defence, so he's not done that one. Jay, Fleming. Fleming still going. It's still with Fleming. Back to Jay, who's danced around a defender. They got it to Monch on the edge of the box. He's gone for another screamer, and not far off. Flag's being waved. It's a free kick. Giovanni Brown on the one this side. Kind of almost feel that should have been a penalty-like situation, and we should have just let Matt Jay take it. They'll also come off attacking, I now realise as well. Kelly with a deep free kick for them. He lays it off to Morris, which is an interesting decision. It's unnecessarily back-heeled back to him, or side-heeled, or whatever you call that. But considering they had all the time in the world to make that pass, there was no need for flair there, but I appreciate it, kind of. Particularly in League 2. Like, come on, guys. But dumped over our defence for Henderson to get on the end to again. He smacks it first time, and it's a good save. Dawson's not really been called upon in this game. When he was, he let one in. Oh, it's Henderson again. He's let another one in. Also counting. What's Dawson's concentration? Because I kind of almost feel like he's gone, it's 5-0. Do I need to do anything? Yes, Cameron, you do need to do something. They are getting a couple of shots in. Unlikely to amount to anything, even if this does make it 5-3 at the last. Well, it is 5-3, but it's a very fortunate 5-3 as it kind of just rebounds to Turnbull here. It's actually a fantastic save by Dawson, but he just palms it into the path of their player who basically just lets it hit him. Salford with a respectable XG in the end, although that was largely just due to that fortunate rebound at the end. I'm not really certain if it was a Jekyll and Hyde performance. I don't think the second half performance was necessarily bad. Just they got a tiny bit fortunate. They deserved the 2 goals, I think, just because of the way they came, but the last one, not so much. I'm going to say it just because we did lose the second half. So even without the fortunate goal, they still won the second half 2-1. So it's a good job we scored 5, really. 4 points clear of the top, though. I think Harrogate dropped points. They did to Bristol Rovers. And indeed, there was a bit of a goal drought for Beereth. I wasn't imagining things. Hopefully he'll continue to score. I'm only doing this again because there's a question about Matt J coming up. He's going to stay with us. Thank you very much. 2 more assists for Giovanni Brown. If he's not scoring, he's assisting. He's very much emerging as the early contender for my favourite player in this save. 6 goals, 6 assists, 3 player of the matches, 7.56 overall average rating if you include cup appearances, which is just the Father Jonathan so far. Oh, and I suppose the Carabao Cup first round. But free agent from Colchester, who we play next. That is Luke Chambers. Didn't realise he'd left Ipswich. Though I suppose he is 36. I don't pay attention to Ipswich, I just know he was an Ipswich player. As we tick into November, finances are looking so good. This is why I kind of want a cup run. And Tyler Morton's goal from that very game gets goal of the month. We're 3rd in manager of the month because Swindon's did something. And after bringing it up again during that match, Dieng's actually dropped his concerns about playing time. I never really mentioned if there was any youth players that were of any note. 1, possibly. These 2 3/4 stars probably won't become anything before we go. Our demands for star rating are going to go up, hopefully relatively sharply here. Sonny Cox, the striker, possibly the one to keep an eye on at least for the next couple of years. Depending on how long we spend in each division. Of course, at this point, I probably should just say as well that whilst it is nice that we are top 3 and automatic promotion is the goal, considering our start. I'd have been happy for playoffs at the beginning, considering our preview, although our preview did move up to 2nd. We are still predicted 2nd. Although we do now have Beereth, Jay, Morton and Fleming in the team, along with Dawson, who was already there. We actually have more players in the Dream 11 than, despite being 8 to 11 odds-on favourites, Salford have nobody in the Media Dream 11. Have you ever seen that in Football Manager before? Predicted first, nobody in the Dream 11. In case you're wondering, the 2 darker ones are both Swindon players, and these light red ones are ours. Can I help but notice as I just clicked away there, Colchester predicted 21st, but currently 7th, having a cracker of a season so far. One day I'll have a press conference where they don't talk about Matt J. Okay, it's not about transferring him. That's okay then. Oh, incoming good news. Beereth's going to be international duty whilst we play teams. Thankfully, he's only 23rd placed Oldham. Of course, we don't get the big teams in the FA Cup till the 3rd round, but I will try and chart our progress through this competition, particularly whilst we're in these divisions. As Archie Collins took an injury in the interim that I didn't even see. No one's super tired for this. We have had a week in between. They're probably going to be more effective for the Father Jonathan's match in a few days' time. But the good news is we do get more substitutes for this game, or substitute space anyway. However, the first 11, barring the Collins situation, which I will put Matt J in central midfield with Nombe coming in on the left, first 11 remains the same. I remembered beforehand to switch sides this time as well, which is good news. Tommy Smith I actually recognise the name of as well, along with Freddie Sears, John Akinda, Emma Hughes. Actually, I recognise a lot of these names. Poor Emma Hughes. I remember he used to have relatively decent potential. If I remember rightly, Hughes was sort of one of those players that you'd be able to get in the first couple of years and would develop to at least Championship League 1, low-end Premier League standard. Clearly not anymore. 28 now, actually, so maybe I'm getting mistaken. Definitely someone like him, though, but perhaps a bit younger. McLaughlin on this right-hand side, though, as the match gets its first highlight on the half-hour mark, almost exactly. Edwards clears that only as far as Fleming, and we are back in our home strip of red and white, as Colchester play in blue. Giovanni Brown at the back post, and it's Beereth headed onto and tapped in. My press conference answer of saying, oh, he'll continue scoring now, seems to be accurate. Thanks, Micah. Especially as you're going on holiday soon. Be nice for you to get a couple of goals before you leave. Actually, I might as well play him in that Father Jonathan's game, if he's not going to be here for the league game that follows. We're going to see offside lines, I don't know why. Ignore Beereth, that's not the one that's important here, because it's gone to Giovanni Brown. Well, it's a 3 first half, here at the JobServe Community Stadium. Gotta be honest, I'm not a fan of these sponsored stadium names. Someone who had to deal with the threat of the Sports Direct Arena, whatever they wanted to call St James's Park for however many years. Yeah, not a fan. And now, of course, my hometown, Sinsel Bank, with LNER. In fact, my York save a couple of years ago, that's also officially now the LNER Stadium. Well, it's not a particularly thrilling game, is it? DN comes on for Morton. Nombe's not had a good game, but he's fit, so we'll keep him going. And actually, I'm just going to triple sub. I'm going to bring Callum Lascelles on for Matt J. I don't know why I'm giving him game time, but very much speaking of York, actually, very much a legacy signing, Callum Lascelles, as, you know what, Giovanni Brown makes it 2 and makes it more comfortable with 8 minutes or so to go, plus injury time. It appears we're dangerous from free kicks. I think I've scored more free kicks in half a season at Exeter than I have in FM22 elsewhere combined. And that includes the 3 that Marvin Plattenhardt put away for Hanover. Giovanni Brown has released Beereth. Their defence a little bit switched off there. It's a good save by Hornby, who I also recognise the name, but I think I might be getting him mixed up. Giovanni Brown doesn't get that corner in. Fraser Hornby, is it? Sam. No, he'd have been at Bradford City after I did Bradford City, so not someone I am actually familiar with, just a surname that's fairly common, seemingly. So late chance for Colchester, seemingly, from a throw-in here, as we get right to the very end of injury time. Chambers forward to Hughes, right in space, and a good save by Dawson, and Soule blocks that shot perfectly for Dawson to gather. Another player of the match performance from Giovanni Brown. 1 goal, 1 assist. We go into the second round hat. Lincoln progressed past Halifax, which is good to see. Nearly made a hash of it, though. Our old enemies filed. Draw with Bristol Rovers. Our old team York progressed past St Albans. Oh, imagine if we got York. Either York or Lincoln. Oh, 22 grand actually probably, I think, just makes us break even again. It does indeed, along with the gate receipts for that match. There's a question about transfer policy. It was about Beereth alone. I just have to make sure my sister doesn't promise to sell anyone. I'm intrigued to know how accurate the teams that are available in the first round of the FA Cup are. I understand the draw's still done randomly, but the game would have come out after the teams would have qualified for the first round. We'll get to this. Hopefully the draw turns up now. It is. There it is. Okay, draw's finally here. Kidderminster in the pot, so that's good to see them still around, considering their exploits in real life. Okay, so a lot of the unsettled draws have been taken out first. Doncaster versus Bradford. Rotherham. That could not have been a worse draw. How big is the Rotherham Stadium? I've been past it. It's only 12,000. Yeah, they are currently second in League One in the game. I figured they'd be doing okay. Yeah, teams in this area I was dreading drawing. Sorry, Pontus Dahlberg's on loan at Gillingham in League One. He's my starting goalkeeper for Hanover on Twitch. I mean, he's better than that now, of course, but like, I'd have preferred Ipswich or Sunderland or Sheffield Wednesday, because at the very least they've got big stadiums for a nice payday. But no, we get Rotherham. Kidderminster got Lincoln. Oh, that's annoying, because I want Kidderminster to progress, but I also want Lincoln to progress. So possibly the worst draw we could have had in that FA Cup second round. We'll do that next time out, along with the game that follows it in the league, which is Northampton. I'll see you for those. Until then, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, you know the deal. Until then, try on.